Hello everybody. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Really excited to play this game. I know this was out on like the 3DS on like 2015. I'm guessing just from the copyright that's below. But I never played this. I got into Ace Attorney last year. And I'm ready to get into this one. So thank you all for coming and joining me on this journey.
After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Excuse me? What just happened? I'm pretty sure that was our main character holding a gun in front of a dead person. Don't tell me our first trial is going to be on ourselves. 22nd November, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants, Antechamber 5. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the door to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? You know, I guess we're representing ourselves. Bailiff? What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. You slapped me. Sorry. Don't slap me, please. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes. And until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspaper these past few days. Yume University professor murderer in cold blood by students. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me, I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean, I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyways. My qualifications don't mean much yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes. That's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and success in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. And come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. Think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get a visit. You visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. So it was right after we talked to him. Wow. Asogi, may I have a word? You know, I thought there was voice acting in this game that I've seen from the trailers, but we'll see. Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me, but never mind that for now, Asogi. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about the procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at a university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke? I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes. Thanks, Kazuma. Oh, this is awkward. Oh, this is awkward. Yeah, very much awkward. At least he smiled. If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand? As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked. Never granted again. What? Ah, as I suspected. You were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. But I don't understand, why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true, nevertheless. I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right. So, as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else, and you must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant? Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our surreptitious, I cannot read that word, discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Sogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyways. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. Sorry, wait. A one and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial that would decide my destiny. So I'm supposed to not have him represent me, and then I'm supposed to say I accept the accusations? What? 22nd November, 9 a.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. So this is a courtroom. Oh my gosh, my eyes are so wide open and twitchy. Only I could be as calm as Kazuma. The Supreme Court of Judicature, no court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that behave demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? Why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, I have a feeling this is all just a test and the murder didn't actually happen. You need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. That's a familiar face. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. This guy is a very familiar face from the original games. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocates. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedures for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Should I actually do what he says? Alright, answer I do. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here besides the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate him for this court. I hope I didn't make the wrong decision already. What's the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off? No, it's not that really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear it to be the reason that you... Oh, yes. I knew that's how you feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. So it's gonna happen anyways? Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Makes no sense, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo, son? Oh! Yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. Oh, I see Phoenix right into him. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very high standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? Is questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard this name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. Ugh, I'm so nervous. I can't remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke? Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information of this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court records with the press of your standard R button, right trick button, right bumper. If you ever find yourself forgotten something, just consult and it's all there. It's just a press of R button for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. Look at that. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people with the same button. You can find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. So remember, everything to do with this current case can be found in the court record. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press Y to present it now. Alright, what were we presenting again? I completely forgot what we were talking about. X. Court record, know me so well. Where is it? Questioning ability to do the job, blah blah blah. Oh wait, I think I skipped it. In this case, scientific, the name of the victim. Okay, the victim of this case, John H. Wilson. He was visiting professor of medicine, Yuma University from the British Empire. Oh, that's quite unfortunate. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Tish, well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England invited to Yuma University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally, and as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of Englishmen has spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yuma University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education? Have you no honor? Ugh, but I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow, then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at the university. I'm sure he's visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. See, death occurred by a little after... Well, I'll probably read it. I'll have to present it. The cause of death. Well, obviously, that was, Ryunosuke? Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and present. Do it now. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body.
Yes!
Well... According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report. I take it? So, yes, that's right. Post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpse to identify the cause of death is an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, you should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into court. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well, I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Ugh, this is it, then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, certainly. You're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. Well, he was speaking with me before. He simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares of hers. I mean, he has that ever-flowing flow of wind passing through his headband. Man, I'm loving this right now. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course, my name is Satoru Asunaga. I'm the head waiter at the Western-style restaurant called Le Carnival. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, just a little blood, that's all. It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. I think it should bother you. Well, it really, really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarters was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood. Osanaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the inspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have a few diners at the time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in that place. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor, besides the professor, I didn't shoot him. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjection. The court wishes to listen to the witness report of what he saw, you amateur. But next time you interrupt at an appropriate time, you will be penalized, defended Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. Ugh. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in hand was the same man we see here in the court today. Oh, this poor guy just dying on the spot. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and a university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at this table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? I think, well, wait and see. I don't think you should wait for him to finish first before we like dissect. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke? If your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I never get into Yume University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know? If you don't say what you got to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just going to shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Okay, so I did have to just speak out. Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table. Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard of court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer at all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Sanaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well, is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course, here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Nothing certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered into the courtroom. Oh gosh, this poor dying man, literally. So, the court has now heard a process of the case. Yes, at the moment, the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I call this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to push matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence for a sworn witness who was present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikotoba said it, and so has the judge and prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? The accused is in fact innocent. Then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that they're innocent by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witness. We'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Ayuchi, please continue with proceedings. Tisk. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. Ugh. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witness. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witness at once. Alright, who are they gonna bring over? Oh, these are two interesting characters. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Ryunosuke, reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the effervescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Ryunosuke, a humble premise in the 2nd District, Kurio Korikuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier with an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day of question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with the interested parties regarding the curious with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with a rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It wasn't that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. Gosh, this man's impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I've heard the strange noise during that last thing he said. So this is decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling more uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Yes, sir. Standing by ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. Witness testimony. What the witness saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactile discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At the precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's action with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysterious absconded precious curio. And that guy's really obsessed with his green jar. Well, so your Sergeant Nosa actually witnessed a vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What time we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun and I saw it lying on the floor. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then when I finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down and just as I was picking it up, bang. Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimony, there's a clue to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. Cross-examine? Do it now. As we heard, Your Excellency, there was no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring the despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Wow, that was really quick. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of... What in the name of Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean, the defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Well, about time. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? Prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination? The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it, it is relevant. Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witness. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witness's statement. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what the soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Right? Evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now, let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. That was a very pathetic outburst. That little slap of hitting the table. Alright then, it's all or nothing. He even looks at his hand like, oh my gosh, I didn't hit that hard. What the witness saw. Alright. Before we do this, I kind of already know. I'm guessing. Yeah, he says he got shot in the back. But this is clearly shot in the front. I was ingesting regular beef at the restaurant while having a technical discussion with the old man. Can I like press a button just to make it all show up? At a precise moment, fire was discharged. I observed the enemy with my own eyes. Let's see, the black uniform is blah blah blah. Shot from the back. Let's press him on that. So this black uniform university cadet, you're saying, okay, that's not the part I wanted you to press. Oh, I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet. Who else do you see around here in a black uniform? Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description very well, but... It was you, little weasel. You unloaded the firearm on that man from behind his back, and you call yourself a citizen of the great Empire of Nippon? You disgust me. What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that Sergeant just said. I can't put my finger. I know exactly it is. He says we shot him in the back, but he's clearly shot in the front. I was hoping you would actually notice that, Ryunosuke. Come on, can I somehow like go in my settings to get through the dialogue faster? Because I don't want to read every single thing. Test skip. I don't want to like full on skip, just like see. Was on my names and needs. Let's go back. Black universe. Okay, there we go. That's exactly the setting I was looking for. Alright, show him the picture. Oh, you have a little magnifying glass. But I want to present it. You gonna say something? Anything, Ryunosuke? Everyone is waiting. What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Resting some photographic print in my mustache? Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. She still can't do it. There's a clear inconsistency here. Tisk. What nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that's, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there's no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. Arg, this is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. Spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photograph, the print presented by the defense, that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Eshop? Yes, sir? What, sir? That statement you just made was this. The black uniform varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir. But no, that just can't be true. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the prints. Oh my gosh, speak for yourself, man. This victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah! Sergeant, according to your witness statements, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Why is there a baby on the back of him? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Certainly, there was a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious cut-able steak, sir. What? Last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Eshop, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Oh, the poor guy. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial just from the one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. The university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up from the floor. Huh. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either. Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. You serious? Treasure? Don't use your treasure like that. Indeed, the Hoi Era Kaban, my prized coin. On each occasion when I visit the restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Matsute. In the hope of meeting a richer diner who might like to buy it from you? On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I preferred my Hoi treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find. I did not, but I was presented with a little alternative, and then, after averting my what the frick was that? After averting my eyes for the briefest moment, there was no more. It simply vanished. The codon vanished. What did you just pull this beard for? Hunting around the table, I was in case mayhap it had fallen there, and it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? I indeed did, but I heed it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoi treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. Huh, let's see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoi Kaban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. I love how Nosa was just quiet about that. As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift, decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, this witness testimony the court has just heard it was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels, it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. Huh. What is your position, Prosecutor Aichi? Tish, why not, Your Excellency? The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witness have further testimonies to make. Explain. Upon hearing their statement, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to be a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well, the court invites the witness to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegations. Is that clear? As clear as Kuroko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking over the shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the List family to rise up in the ranks. Sir, name Aido. Huh. It would seem these straps are assigned sergeants, being too strapped to afford a nanny. Aido Teen Shun. Father's about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. God. The true culprit. Alright, I think this is where we're going to end this part here for now. We're actually going for quite a long while. I didn't expect this first case to be so long. But yeah, we'll see how long the next part will be. I'll try to always make it like 30 minutes. But we'll see. This one is a special hour one because I guess it's our first part. Definitely didn't think it would be this long. But yeah, if you guys enjoy it, let me know. Let me know if you played these games before or the 3DS version before. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until then, I will see you all later. Goodbye.